So Ubisoft is shutting down online services for 15 of their games, and I want to talk about this because it's really not great for a few of these games. So first of all, they're saying that they're closing these online services because that will allow them to focus their resources on delivering great experiences for players who are playing on newer, more popular titles. Let me just translate that. They're basically saying, look, servers are expensive. These games are not really generating money anymore, so we're closing them down, And, it's totally justified. Servers are expensive, and, if this is just a loss for them at this point, then, you have to do what you have to do. Now, the nice way of doing these things is, now I don't know all of these games in particular, but the cool thing to do is, if you have multiplayer options for these various games, and if there comes a point where you're going to be closing down these multiplayer servers, it's nice to give the player base some sort of a feature update, or maybe that's already in the game, to where you can host servers locally so that people can still play these games that they bought with their money at some point. That would be a very nice thing to do. And the very problematic thing is that you will not even have access to DLCs for a whole bunch of these games anymore. So as far as I understand it, if you own the normal version of the game and then you own DLCs, you won't be able to access those DLCs anymore. But if you have the remastered version, or if you have the Game of the Year edition versions where everything is included, then you are still gonna be able to access that. It's very weird. Yeah, I don't really like it. So definitely not great. If you have this single player game, that at some point you won't be able to download the DLC for that anymore. So yeah, but there's a bigger issue. There's a game called Space Junkies. Now, I've never played this game. It's a VR game. It currently costs $5 on Steam. It's discounted. Usually it's $20, I believe. And it's a multiplayer only title that is getting shut down on the multiplayer side of things. So basically, if you bought this game, if you paid money for it, because it's not even that old. I don't know the exact year when it came out, but it's a VR game, so it's not that old. I think it came out in 2019, but I'm not sure. If you bought this game, you will not be able to play it anymore ever again after September of this year. And obviously, this is really uncool, because you paid for a piece of software that you now will not be able to access anymore. And I have some experience with this. So a few years back, I played Minecraft Story Mode. I played it very late, quite a few years after it actually came out. And I had no idea there was a Season 2 or another version of Minecraft Story Mode available until one of my friends told me about it. And I was like, that's weird, because when I finished the original Minecraft Story Mode game, I searched on Steam and did a quick web search, oh, is there a second version as well and stuff? And no, there wasn't. But he told me, oh yeah, there totally is. And I was like, what? And I did a deep dive, and basically there is a second season, a second game, but you can't buy it anywhere anymore. And I thought that was weird. And the reason for that is, this is basically a single player game that requires to connect to Telltale servers in order to work. Now, they're probably doing that to help prevent piracy and such things, I would assume. However, so Telltale went out of business, and the problem is, this game, I think, came out right before they went out of business. So you could get this game, and then when they went out of business, obviously their servers didn't work anymore, so you couldn't access this game. So nobody sells it anymore anyways, because you can't actually use it. So the only way, it's a totally complete, finished game that people spent time and worked on that you just can't play because it's just locked, because it can't connect to servers. So the only way you can actually play it at this point is if you actually get a pirated version of the game, because some people just sort of cracked it, or whatever you want to call it, so it doesn't actually need to connect online, so you can just play your single player game without it connecting online. So this is a practice I really hate in the game industry. You know, for single player games, it's just so ridiculous. And this is you know, it's incredibly uncool. You know, that you just cannot, you know, I totally get not being able to play multiplayer anymore, because servers do cost money. I get it if some game developers then just shut down the multiplayer servers and they don't give an option for people to host their own servers. You know, people just, you know, companies just really don't care about that stuff that much. So, you know, it is what it is. But when you close down a single player game by disabling its online services, it just kind of sucks, you know. And I don't know if this game was only person versus person. I would assume it had a single player mode, but yeah, if you bought this game, you can just never play it again, and that is not great. That is not cool, and